The night everything changed began with rain falling like it was trying to wash the world clean, drenching the cracked streets and flickering streetlights of a forgotten neighborhood. A tired single father, worn down by life but still standing, ran through the storm with a frightened young girl in his arms, unaware that this moment, this single act of kindness, would quietly rewrite both of their destinies. Some promises are spoken in desperation, some in hope, and some are planted so deep in the heart that they take years to bloom. What happened that night would echo across 6 long years, through struggle, silence, and faith. If you believe that kindness can change lives, that second chances are real, and that destiny sometimes waits patiently, please take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts across the world. Daniel Harris was a man the world rarely noticed. He lived on the edge of the city in a small, aging apartment that smelled faintly of old books and instant coffee. Life had not been gentle with him. His wife had passed away years earlier, leaving him alone with responsibilities heavier than his pockets. He worked long hours at a warehouse, lifting boxes that paid just enough to survive but never enough to dream. Every morning, he woke before sunrise, cooked simple meals, and carried the weight of being both mother and father, teacher and protector. His greatest fear was not poverty itself, but the idea that his child would grow up feeling unloved or unsafe in a world that had already taken so much from them. That stormy night, Daniel had stayed late at work, hoping to earn a little extra overtime. As he walked home, his jacket thin against the cold, he noticed a small figure crouched near a closed shop, soaked, shivering, and clearly terrified. The girl could not have been more than 10 years old. She was alone, her clothes torn, her eyes wide with fear and exhaustion. The city around her moved on, indifferent, but Daniel stopped. He always stopped when others didn't. He gave her his jacket, carried her out of the rain, and stayed with her until help arrived, refusing to leave even when it meant missing another shift and losing pay he desperately needed. The days that followed were not easy. Helping her meant paperwork, questions, missed work, and judgment from people who thought kindness was a luxury for the rich. But Daniel never regretted it. He checked on her whenever he could, brought books, food, and small comforts, and treated her with the same patience and warmth he gave his own child. In those quiet moments, something unspoken formed between them, a bond rooted not in blood, but in humanity. Before their paths separated, the girl made a promise born from gratitude and innocence, a promise Daniel smiled at but never took seriously, believing life rarely fulfilled such hopeful words. Years passed, and life continued its relentless rhythm. Daniel's struggles did not magically disappear. Bills piled up, his health slowly declined, and opportunities slipped through his fingers. There were nights he sat alone, wondering if kindness truly mattered in a world that seemed to reward selfishness. Still, he raised his child with the same values, teaching that helping others was never a waste, even if it came at a cost. He aged quietly, his dreams shrinking into simple wishes for stability and peace. 6 years later, on an ordinary afternoon, a sleek car stopped outside Daniel's modest building, drawing curious glances from neighbors. From it stepped a young woman, confident yet gentle, dressed in a way that spoke of success but not arrogance. Time had transformed her, but her eyes held the same depth and gratitude. She had not forgotten the man who saved her when no one else stopped. Life had taken her far, from hardship to education, from survival to success, but the memory of that rainy night had guided every step she took. She had returned not out of obligation, but out of purpose. Her arrival reopened wounds Daniel thought had healed and answered prayers he never spoke aloud. She revealed how that single act of kindness became the foundation of her strength, how it taught her that goodness existed even in the darkest moments. She did not come to repay a debt, but to honor a promise that had shaped her life. What she offered was not just financial help or gratitude, but a future built on respect, loyalty, and shared values. In that moment, Daniel understood that some seeds take years to grow, but when they do, they bloom beyond imagination. As their lives reconnected, the world seemed softer, more forgiving. Daniel found himself seen not as a poor, tired man, but as someone whose quiet courage had changed a life. The girl he once carried through the rain now stood beside him, proof that compassion never disappears, it multiplies. Their story became a reminder that true wealth is not measured by money, but by the lives we touch and the hope we leave behind. If this story is touching your heart right now, if it reminds you of someone who helped you when you had nothing, please pause for a moment and show your support by liking this video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement helps spread stories that restore faith in humanity. Before this story ends, we have one special request for you. Please comment below about a moment in your life when someone's kindness changed everything for you. In the end, Daniel stood at his window, watching the sunset paint the sky in warm colors, feeling a peace he had never known. Life had not been easy, but it had been meaningful. The promise spoken years ago had come full circle, not as a fairy tale, but as a testament to patience, gratitude, and the quiet power of doing the right thing when no one is watching. And somewhere deep in the hearts of those who hear this story, a simple truth remains: kindness always finds its way back.